So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to go over some very interesting news coming out of PlayStation. We're going to look at PlayStation VP Simon Rutter's latest comments on the capabilities of the PlayStation 5, including loading times, 3D audio, the DualSense controller, and honestly he paints a really exciting picture for what's to come later this year. He also discusses exclusives for the PlayStation 5 and how much they mean to Sony. Along with this, we'll look into Matt McLaurin's latest comments regarding the PS4's lifespan. First, let me know if you see yourself keeping your PS4 when you get your PlayStation 5. I know a lot of people keep older consoles for backwards compatibility or nostalgia, but this time around the next PlayStation console is actually backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4. Even though it might not be all games right out of the gate, games you're probably playing right now will probably be playable on the PlayStation 5. So let me know if you plan on keeping your PlayStation 4 when the PlayStation 5 drops. Let me know down in the comments below. Now diving into the first story of the video, the PS4's lifespan. This for different people means different things. For some, it means I can still use this machine for years to come, which will definitely be the case for the PlayStation 4. If you see the PlayStation 3, there's still people who play it to this day, and online servers still exist for some games after nearly 14 years of it being on the market. For others, lifespan means I'll still get new games, which the PS4 still will for the near future. If it's anything like the PlayStation 3, third-party developers will stop really making games for the console after maybe a few years, but this time around it could be different with the online communities out there. And then you have people who take support or lifespan, meaning is Sony still going to produce games for this console? Once they stop, some people feel that that's the end of its lifespan. So in that aspect, Sony believes again in generations, as they've stated before, so they're really going to focus on the PlayStation 5 for first-party developers. But Matt McLaurin made an interesting comment over on LinkedIn, kind of hinting more in the pipeline for the PlayStation 4. According to PlayStation Universe, Matt McLaurin was replying to some concerned PlayStation fans on LinkedIn who think they have to get a PlayStation 5 or I guess be left behind, and he replied with, "You'll be fine, lots more life in the PlayStation 4 Pro, I hope. Take your time, we're still investing strongly in PlayStation 4. So I'll say this, Matt is with the UI design team, but he could know more about Sony's future plans. Really, who am I to say otherwise? But I think this idea that Sony will still support the PlayStation 4 can be seen possibly through something like PlayStation Studios. As we know, this umbrella of PlayStation Studios contains Sony first party, among other developers not owned by Sony. They could very well have games come to the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 from non-first party developers, but still games considered under the PlayStation Studios brand. The PS4 still has a lot of life in it, and I can see developers supporting it for years to come. And after a price drop, an inevitable price drop for the console, the user base will also grow that much more. Online communities, especially on the PlayStation 4, as I mentioned earlier, will also still be around for a long time as well. Let me know if you have any friends who are not going to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 just yet or at launch, or let me know if you're not ready as well. Now, diving into the second story of the video, PlayStation 5 exclusives and how important they are to Sony. Sony obviously has built this catalog of games up for generations now. Their library is quite large at this point. They've had their first-party studios produce high-quality games for some time now, and the PS4 generation is when, for most, that hit center stage. Sony's VP of European Business, Simon Rutter, is once again back with more to say in regards to next gen. And if you had any worries about Sony and their exclusives, Simon is here to calm you down. Here's his statement from The Guardian in regards to exclusives. Exclusives are hugely important, more important I think than they've ever been. Through their proximity to the system's designers, PlayStation Studios are able to really extract the most out of the system's performance, and that's a really valuable attribute for a platform holder to have. PlayStation can rely on a studio network that can really show off the innovations they're trying to put across when the exclusives are as powerful as Marvel's Spider-Man or Horizon. They are important games that people want to play. So it's clear that exclusives are a priority, and Simon here hits hard on exclusives really being the games to showcase the capabilities of the console. We already saw Ratchet's next adventure flex the SSD capabilities of the PlayStation 5 with the portal jumping and world assets being loaded at high speeds. We also have Astrobot that will get you introduced to the DualSense controller with the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback, and I'm sure there's more to come. And this brings us to the final story of the video, the load speeds of the PlayStation 5 being close to nothing, and GT7 demonstrating the DualSense controller and 3D audio. Simon Rudder had more to say about the PS5's capabilities, and he used Gran Turismo 7 as one of his prime examples of how load speeds will be on PlayStation 5. He also provided an example of 3D audio and how it'll allow you to tell the difference between engine sounds in different cars, and there's more in his full statement. Reading from The Guardian, Gran Turismo 7 is going to benefit from almost every single technological enhancement that we have in the PlayStation 5. The loading times will be next to nothing compared to what they have been in the past. Sitting in the cockpit, the 3D audio allows you to hear the thunderous roar of a Ferrari behind you or in front of you, and you can recognize the difference between that and the engine noise of a Maserati. Driving the car using the DualSense controller, you'll have a different feeling in your hands from the smooth undulating tarmac of a racetrack compared to the gritty sensation of a gravel track. Pressing a soft accelerator will feel very different than pressing on a stiff brake pedal or gear paddle. So there's a good collection of stuff to go over here. The loading times being next to nothing, which we've heard before, this idea of near instant loading times. But obviously the cool part here is the 3D audio and the ability to feel the world to where you're able to tell the difference between a stiff brake pedal or a gear paddle and tell the difference between engine noises and where exactly they're coming from. So the tech that Sony is bringing should really let us be able to hear and feel the minute differences in audio and physical sensation between objects in the world. And the more I hear about these details with the audio and the DualSense controller, the more I cannot wait for this thing to finally come out. But you guys let me know what you think the DualSense controller will be priced at. Do you think it will be similar to the DualShock 4, or with all the tech that's inside this thing, do you think it will be way more expensive than the DualShock 4 and the regular price? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with "hit me in the feels." Now, I'm not meeting emotions here, obviously. I'm referring to that 3D audio and that DualSense controller. It's going to hit you in the feels, in your ear, and in your hands. So if you're excited for all of that, destroy the comment section with "hit me in the feels," and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.